Have you ever noticed that most failures, both in life and in business, don't just happen out of the blue? They build up slowly. Problems usually send out little signals, quiet warnings, long before they explode into a full-blown crisis. But we're often too busy, too distracted, or too overwhelmed to notice them. What if you had a system that could spot these issues before any human even has a chance to? A system that gives you a heads up, not a fire alarm. This isn't about working harder, it's about seeing sooner. Imagine having fewer emergencies, fewer frantic scrambles, and a sense of genuine control over your work and life. Let's talk about the old way, the way most of us still operate. We're reactive. A customer sends an angry email, a server crashes, a deadline is missed, and suddenly it's all hands on deck. We jump into action only after the damage is done. We rely on our memory, on notifications popping up on our screens, or on a vague gut feeling that something might be wrong. But memory fails, notifications just tell you what's already broken, and gut feelings are unreliable. This reactive approach is a recipe for constant stress, wasted time, and burnout. You're always putting out fires, never getting ahead. It feels like you're running on a treadmill that's perpetually speeding up, and it's exhausting. Now, imagine a shift, a fundamental change from reacting to predicting. This is where predictive systems come in. These systems don't wait for a problem to announce itself. Instead, they quietly watch the patterns. They observe the flow of work, the data, the tiny behavioral shifts that signal a future issue. Think of it like this: a doctor doesn't wait for a heart attack to happen. They look at blood pressure, cholesterol, and family history to predict the risk. A predictive system does the same for your work or business. It listens for the quiet warnings, the subtle changes that humans almost always miss. We're talking about a move from crisis management to crisis prevention. So, what are these signals? They're everywhere, hiding in plain sight. These are the small, almost invisible changes that act as early indicators of trouble. For example, maybe a specific task in your workflow is consistently taking just a few minutes longer than it used to. Or your team's average email response time has slowly crept up from 2 hours to 4. Or you're seeing repeated minor errors in a process that was once flawless. Individually, these things seem trivial. A human brain is wired to ignore them. We dismiss them as one-offs or statistical noise. But a system doesn't. A system sees the trend. This is where automation becomes incredibly powerful. Tools like Zapier or Make.com can connect different apps, and a monitoring tool like Datadog or even a simple custom script can start tracking these metrics. The system's job is to notice the pattern we're too busy to see. Let's walk through a scenario to see how this quiet system works in action. Imagine an online store that's running smoothly. Sales are good, customers seem happy. From the outside, everything looks perfect. But behind the scenes, a predictive system is monitoring the entire customer journey. It's not just tracking sales. It's watching the time it takes for an order to be processed, packed, and shipped. The system, perhaps using a business intelligence tool like Tableau connected to the store's data, detects a tiny but consistent increase in processing time, just a few minutes per order. No customer has complained yet, no one on the team has even noticed. But the system flags this trend and sends a quiet notification to the operations manager. Heads up, order processing time has increased by 8% this week. There's no panic, no emergency meeting. Just an early, calm signal that allows the team to investigate. They might discover a new software bug or a supply chain hiccup, and they can fix it long before it impacts a single customer. That's the power of working sooner. So how does a system like this actually think? It's simpler than you might imagine. You don't need some super advanced AI like a large language model to do this. The logic is straightforward and follows for basic steps: track, compare, flag, and notify. First, it tracks a specific metric like task completion time or customer inquiry volume. Second, it compares the current data to a baseline or historical average, what's normal. Third, if the data deviates from that baseline beyond a certain threshold, it flags it as an anomaly. And finally, it notifies the right person. This isn't about artificial intelligence trying to understand your business. It's just structured observation at scale. A system doesn't have emotions. It doesn't get distracted or have a bad day. It just notices change. And that's precisely why it outperforms a human at spotting these predictive patterns. Beyond the efficiency gains, there's a hidden benefit that's even more valuable: peace of mind. When you have a system watching your back, the constant mental load of what if starts to fade. You no longer feel the need to constantly check your inbox, refresh your dashboards, or lie awake at night wondering what might break tomorrow. You stop waiting for bad news. Your work feels lighter, calmer, and more focused because you trust that the system will alert you to the small things before they become big things. A predictive system doesn't just manage your workflow. It reduces your mental overhead, freeing up your creative and strategic energy for what truly matters. It's the difference between being a worrier and being a watchman. So, if this is so powerful, why don't more people and businesses build these systems? There are a few common reasons. Many people hear predictive system and immediately think it's something incredibly advanced or complex, reserved for giant tech companies with huge data science teams. They also tend to confuse automation with coding, assuming you need to be a programmer to build anything useful. They don't realize that you can build simple, effective predictive systems for simple, common problems using no-code tools. But the biggest barrier is fear. The familiar chaos of reactive work feels safer than stepping into the unknown world of proactive system design. This fear keeps them trapped in a cycle of firefighting, forever reacting to problems they could have prevented, and that brings us to the bigger lesson here. The future of productive work isn't about putting in more effort, working longer hours, or hustling faster. It's about earlier awareness. The most powerful individuals and organizations won't be the ones who can fix problems the loudest. They'll be the ones who can hear the issues when they're still just whispers. The most effective systems don't work harder, they work sooner. They give you the incredible advantage of time to think, time to plan, and time to act calmly and deliberately. Ultimately, success isn't just about how well you solve problems. It's about how many problems you never have to solve in the first place. I want to invite you to start thinking differently about the systems in your own life and work. Don't just build them to do things. Build them to see things. Welcome to Systems That Whisper. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.